For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration. We captured and brought to justice the outlaw dictator of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. We inherited the worst border in history and turned it into the strongest border in history. Using tariffs slashed the U.S. trade deficit by an incredible 77%. Ended 8 unendable wars in 10 months. These were unendable wars.
So critics say the focus on foreign policy is a far cry from what the president campaigned on, which was to bring prices down, put America first. And while the administration says his recent moves will lead to a safer America, many Americans are still a bit weary. Check out some recent polling. Shows just 37% of Americans approve of the president's job on the economy. 45% of Americans believe the U.S. should be taking a less active role when it comes to foreign affairs. And only 40% of Americans right now approve of his job overall as president. But despite this polling, the administration is celebrating, saying the first year has been a big win. So for more on Trump 2.0, I'd like to welcome in Republican strategist Matt Klink. Matt, so great to see you. I do apologize if for some reason the president starts speaking again in Davos and we have to interrupt you. But at this point now, we are officially more than 1 year into this now second term. We heard from the president directly about his accomplishments yesterday. That included the handout, a very thick handout for reporters in that press briefing. What do you consider some of his biggest successes in year one?
Absolutely. Thanks, Nicole. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he jumped up to the mic for a third time. I think that, a couple things. One, return deterrence abroad, that red lines really matter and that America and America's national interests come first. The second is regulatory and energy reform. I think that's the unspoken biggest thing that's happening. He is literally gutting some of the overly expensive Biden climate policies and ridiculous regulations that were on the books. Administrative control. This is an administration this time that knows what they're doing. They have an agenda and they're intent on implementing policy across the board. And then obviously there's immigration, which I think is a resounding success. So it's,
yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Certainly some successes there, certainly from the Republican perspective. One thing, though, that does not seem to be resonating, Matt, the administration is really trying its best to get in front of the topic of affordability, something that the president at one time called a hoax, but yet polling does show Americans are not convinced. We showed it at the top of this. Only 37% right now approve of his job on the economy. So my question for you, looking at the numbers and knowing, polls really, you can almost get them to say anything. But how do you think the GOP messaging needs to change? Because do you think the president simply saying that things are turning around or will soon turn around, is that enough to convince more Americans, including people who voted for him who are really feeling the squeeze right now?
Yeah, Nicole, that's a great point. Look, I think that telling people that everything is going to be okay is important, but that's the first half of the equation. That's what the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris administration tried to do, and nobody believed them. I think what the Republicans and Donald Trump need to do more effectively is highlight that it took 4 years to get us into this mess. It's going to take longer than 1 year to get us out of it. And hopefully, as the benefits of the one big beautiful bill click in, that, look, right now the economy is strong, but prices are still increasing faster than wages are. So people are anxious, people are antsy, and the Republicans need to continue to hype the things that are going well, knowing full well that unlike when a Democrat's in office, the media is not going to give them any assistance in talking about what's going right.
All right, so Matt, I want to listen to a little bit more of what we heard from the president in yesterday's press briefing.
The numbers that we inherited were way up, and now we brought them, almost all of them, way down. We brought them way down. I mean, I'm not getting, maybe I have the bad public relations people. No, I hope I don't make the same mistake as him. Look, I inherited a terrible, it's a great question because we inherited a terrible, terrible mess between the border, between all the problems. The whole country was falling apart. And in 12 months, less than 12 months, I mean, in 12 months, we have the strongest border we've ever had. We have prices that are much, much lower than they were. Should have gotten the Nobel Prize for each war, but I don't say that. I say millions and millions of people. And don't let anyone tell you that Norway doesn't control the shots, okay? It's in Norway. Norway controls the shots. They'll say, we have nothing to do with it. It's a joke. They've lost such prestige. That's why I have such respect for Maria doing what she did. She said, I don't deserve the Nobel Prize. He does. I could stand here and read it for a week and we wouldn't be finished. But we've done more than any other administration has done by far in terms of military, in terms of ending wars, in terms of completing wars.
All right, so that was just a piece of what we heard there, Matt. Meandering certainly could be a way to describe it. He made several references to the former president. We're now more than a year into this second term, and President Trump is still actively attacking Joe Biden. He talked for nearly 2 hours yesterday, again, many times seeming to meander a bit off topic, a bit just now as well. Also making references to Biden during his speech at today's World Economic Forum. My question for you, what is your reaction to what we're seeing? Like behind the scenes, are there some real concerns here? Or is this, hey, this is just Donald Trump as usual, this is just Trump being Trump?
I think that both can be true at the same time. This is Donald Trump's rhetorical style. He's never one to follow a speech directly from the teleprompter or even in the order that it was written. He does do stream of consciousness. I mean, look, if the bar is current presidents talking about the person that they followed, Barack Obama attacked George W. Bush for 8 years. Joe Biden attacked Trump 45. So it's ingrained in the American culture that, the America is stronger under the current leadership than under the past leadership. All that being said, look, the odds are stacked against Donald Trump from a congressional perspective. The party in power tends to lose about 22 seats in the midterm in the House. That would give the Democrats a small majority, but nevertheless a majority, and that would change things in politics in the nation's capital.
All right, and Matt, I have to talk about Greenland, the president's push here. We're hearing so much on this. He's at the World Economic Forum to talk about many things, but of course, his desire to acquire Greenland is kind of looming over everything. There's a lot of pushback on this. I mean, there's pushback from our European allies. There's certainly pushback in Denmark and absolutely in Greenland, the country at the heart of all of this. Even back here at home, though, we know among Democrats, but also among plenty of Republicans who don't want to see this happen. You're a Republican strategist. Do you have concerns that maybe this could fracture the party? What do you foresee here?
Oh, no, this won't fracture the party, but there are obvious questions about the purpose for all of this. And I think you're hearing some of it creep in today. I mean, look, for 80 years, Europe has ridden on America's coattails. I think that Secretary of Treasury Bessent said that it was roughly $22 trillion more that the U.S. has contributed to their defense than all of Europe combined has. It's one way of Donald Trump saying, we've looked out for you while you funded your social welfare programs, and now you're going to contribute more, but we've kept you afloat in the past. And part of the strategic perspective of why Greenland is important is even their own intelligence estimate says that they acknowledge that Russia and China are more active in the Arctic. So, I mean, look, Donald Trump could continue to make the case. The big news today was he said he would not use force to take it. But, he did say he wants to negotiate, and that's all Donald Trump's rhetoric is designed to do, get people around the table to have a conversation.
Absolutely. And that may be exactly what is at the heart of all of this. Republican strategist Matt Klink, thanks so much for your time.
Anytime, Nicole. Have a good one.
You as well.